Everyday English listening. Let's listen to English every day because it helps us improve our listening skills, understand pronunciation better, learn new vocabulary, and become more confident in real conversations. Keep practicing. Falling teaches us important and valuable lessons. Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we walk confidently, and sometimes we fall. Falling is not something most people enjoy. It can feel painful, embarrassing, or discouraging. However, falling is one of life's greatest teachers. Every fall, every failure, every mistake offers us an opportunity to learn something valuable. Falling teaches us lessons that success alone cannot provide. These lessons help us grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for life's future challenges. 1. Falling shows us our weaknesses. When everything is going well, we often overlook our weak spots. Success can make us overconfident, but when we fall, it opens our eyes to what we need to improve. For example, when a student fails a test, it highlights the topics they didn't fully understand. When an athlete loses a match, it reveals areas that need more training. If someone starts a business and it fails, they can look at what went wrong. Perhaps their plan wasn't strong enough, or their timing was bad. Falling helps us reflect and recognize our mistakes. Without falling, we might continue without realizing where we need to grow. 2. Falling teaches humility. Success feels great, but it can sometimes lead to arrogance. We may start to believe that we are always right or better than others. Falling reminds us that no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone experiences failure at some point. Humility is one of the most valuable human qualities. It keeps us kind, respectful, and open to learning. When we fall, it humbles us. We realize that we are human, just like everyone else. Humility makes us better friends, leaders, and learners. Falling teaches us to stay grounded and to appreciate the efforts of others, not just our own achievements. 3. Falling builds strength and resilience. Falling hurts, but the act of standing up again builds strength. The more we fall and get back up, the stronger we become. This strength is called resilience, the ability to recover from difficulties. Life will always present new challenges. If we never fell, we might give up the first time we face something hard. But each fall, each recovery, prepares us for the next battle. Like a child learning to walk, we fall many times before we learn to stand strong. But those falls are what build our muscles and confidence. 4. Falling gives us experience. There are lessons we can't learn from books or other people's stories. Some lessons only come from personal experience. When we fall, we experience firsthand what failure feels like, what works and what doesn't, what our personal limits are, and how to push past them. This experience gives us wisdom. The next time we face a similar situation, we know better what to do. Experience makes us smarter and more capable. 5. Falling teaches us the value of effort. Sometimes, when things are too easy, we don't appreciate them. But when we fall, we understand how hard it is to succeed. This makes us value our efforts and the efforts of others more deeply. For example, after failing a test, a student might study harder and value their good grades more. After falling off a bike, a child may work harder to learn to balance and appreciate the joy of riding. Falling shows us that good things take effort. It reminds us that success is earned, not given. 6. Falling inspires creativity and problem solving. When we fall, we must figure out how to rise again. This process makes us think creatively. Instead of giving up, we ask ourselves, how can I do this differently next time? What solution can I try? Who can help me improve? Falling forces us to try new approaches. This creativity not only solves our current problem, but also makes us better at solving future ones. 7. Falling builds empathy. When we fall, we understand how it feels to struggle. This understanding makes us more compassionate toward others who are also struggling. Empathy helps us be kinder and more supportive friends, family members, and leaders. Instead of judging others for falling, we help them stand up because we know how difficult it is. Falling connects us to others through shared human experiences. 8. Falling teaches perseverance. The easiest thing to do after falling is to give up, but if we choose to keep trying, we learn perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to continue even when it's hard. Perseverance leads to success. History is full of people who failed many times before they succeeded. They fell, but they did not quit. Instead, they used each fall as a stepping stone. Think of great inventors, athletes, writers, and leaders. None of them succeeded without falling first, but they kept going, and that's why we remember them. 9. Falling reminds us to be grateful. When we fall, we realize how much we took success or comfort for granted. After falling, we feel more thankful for the good things in life. For example, when we recover from an illness, we appreciate our health more. When we fix a broken relationship, we treasure it more. Gratitude makes life richer and happier. Sometimes we need a fall to remind us to be thankful for what we have. 10. Falling is not the end, but a new beginning. A fall might feel like the end of your journey, but it's actually the beginning of a new chapter. After a fall, you rise with new knowledge, new strength, and a new perspective. Falling doesn't define who you are. What defines you is how you respond. Will you stay down, or will you rise again, stronger than before? The people who succeed in life are not those who never fall. They are those who fall but rise again and again. Falling is a part of every journey. Every journey in life, whether it's learning a new skill, building a career, or simply growing as a person, includes moments of falling. Nobody walks through life without making mistakes or facing setbacks. In fact, the most meaningful journeys are often filled with moments where we stumble, pause, and then continue walking, stronger and wiser than before. Think about a baby learning to walk. A baby does not stand up and walk perfectly on the first try. Instead, the baby falls again and again. But each fall is an important step toward walking independently. Without falling, there would be no progress. In the same way, when we pursue our goals, we will fall. But these falls are part of the process of becoming capable and confident in whatever we are trying to achieve. The fall is temporary, but the lesson stays forever. A fall may only last a moment, but the lessons we learn from it can stay with us forever. Sometimes, a single mistake can teach us something we will remember for the rest of our lives. For example, forgetting your lines in a school play might teach you to prepare more next time. Losing an important sports match might teach you the value of teamwork and practice. Making a poor financial decision might teach you to save and plan better in the future. These are lessons that no one can take away from you. They become a part of your wisdom. Even though the fall hurts for a moment, the wisdom you gain will help you make better choices in the future. Falling challenges your comfort zone. When we are in our comfort zone, life feels easy and safe. But we don't grow much in that space. Falling usually happens when we step outside our comfort zone to try something new or difficult. Perhaps you tried to speak English in front of a class and you made some mistakes. Perhaps you tried a new hobby and you struggled at first. Maybe you applied for a job and didn't get it. These experiences feel uncomfortable, but they are signs that you are challenging yourself. Growth only happens when we leave what feels safe. Falling is proof that you're reaching for something beyond your current abilities. And each time you stretch yourself, you expand what you're capable of doing. Falling builds self-awareness. One of the greatest lessons from falling is learning about ourselves. When we fall, we start asking important questions. What caused this failure? How did I react? What do I need to change? What am I afraid of? These questions help us understand ourselves better. Self-awareness is the first step toward personal growth. If we never fell, we might never take the time to reflect on who we are and who we want to become. Falling allows us to pause and look inside ourselves, giving us a clearer sense of our strengths, weaknesses, and dreams. Falling encourages gratitude for progress. When we work hard to overcome a fall, we appreciate our progress even more. If everything came easily, we might not feel grateful for it. But when we fight through challenges and overcome setbacks, we feel proud and thankful for what we achieve. For example, when a student finally passes a tough subject after failing several times, the success feels so much sweeter. That student will never forget the journey and effort it took to succeed. Falling reminds us that progress, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. Each little step forward after a fall is a victory. The importance of getting back up. The most important part of falling is learning how to get back up. Falling is not failure unless we choose to stay down. Life rewards those who refuse to give up. Getting back up shows courage. It takes courage to try again after failing. Determination. It shows that you are determined to reach your goal, no matter what. Growth mindset. It means you believe that you can improve through effort. Every time you rise after a fall, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming obstacles. This belief in yourself will carry you through many more challenges in life. Falling helps you appreciate others' struggles. When you have fallen, you understand how hard life can be. This understanding makes you kinder to others. You won't laugh at someone else's mistakes because you know how it feels to fall. Instead, you will offer a helping hand, a kind word, or simply a listening ear. This empathy makes the world a better place. When people help each other through life's falls, everyone grows together. Falling doesn't define you. It's easy to believe that if we fall, we are a failure. But this is not true. Falling is something that happens to us. It is not who we are. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by your courage to keep going. Falling is simply part of the human experience. What matters most is how you respond to it. You can choose to rise, learn, and move forward. Each time you do, you become stronger and more confident in your journey. Practical tips. When you fall, here are some simple steps to help you rise after a fall. 1. Pause and breathe. Calm your mind and body. 2. Reflect on what happened. Think about what caused the fall. 3. Forgive yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Mistakes happen. 4. Make a new plan. Change your approach and try again. 5. Take one step forward. Even a small step is progress. Remember, falling is not the end of your story. It's just one chapter in your book of life. Falling reminds us that learning is a lifelong process. Sometimes people believe that learning stops after school or once we become adults. But the truth is, we never stop learning. Life keeps giving us lessons, and often, those lessons come through failure and falling down. A child falls while learning to walk, a teenager stumbles while trying to find their place in the world, and adults fall when they face difficult situations in work, relationships, or personal goals. No matter our age, falling is part of the human experience. The sooner we accept that learning happens all our lives, the easier it becomes to embrace our mistakes and learn from them. Falling brings clarity to our goals. Sometimes, we fall because we didn't set clear goals. Maybe we rushed into something without fully understanding what we wanted. Failure has a way of forcing us to slow down and rethink our purpose. When we fall, we often ask ourselves, why did I start this in the first place? Is this really what I want? What is the right direction for me? These questions help us clarify our goals and adjust our path. Falling shows us whether we are working towards something meaningful or just chasing something without true purpose. Falling helps us appreciate the journey, not just the destination. Too often, we focus only on reaching our goals and forget to enjoy the process of getting there. Falling reminds us that the journey itself holds value. Every challenge we overcome, every mistake we correct, every lesson we learn along the way shapes who we become. The destination, success, achievement, or victory is important, but it's the lessons from the journey that truly make us wiser and stronger. Falling slows us down enough to appreciate where we are and how far we've come. Falling helps us appreciate the journey, not just the destination. Too often, we focus only on reaching our goals and forget to enjoy the process of getting there. Falling reminds us that the journey itself holds value. Every challenge we overcome, every mistake we correct, every lesson we learn along the way shapes who we become. The destination, success, achievement, or victory is important, but it's the lessons from the journey that truly make us wiser and stronger. Falling slows us down enough to appreciate where we are and how far we've come. Conclusion: embrace the fall. In life, falling is inevitable. No matter how hard we try to avoid it, we will stumble sometimes. But instead of fearing the fall, embrace it as part of your learning journey. Every fall is a lesson waiting to be discovered, a chance to grow stronger, an opportunity to learn, a reason to keep trying. So when you fall, take a deep breath, stand back up, look around. What did you learn? What will you do differently next time? Remember this truth: falling is not failing. Falling is learning. And each time you rise, you become a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more prepared for the next adventure life brings your way. A famous quote says, "If you fall, fall forward." This means even when you stumble, fall in a direction where you can learn and grow. Don't fall backward into doubt and fear. Fall forward into courage, wisdom, and hope. Falling is part of learning. Every time you fall, you gain another piece of wisdom. So, don't be afraid to take risks, try new things, and face life's challenges. Fall, learn, rise, and keep walking. Your journey is not about avoiding falls. It's about learning to rise again and again.